our most popular question actually is, when should I visit the Disneyland Resort? And with that, a lot of people go to crowd calendars. So today we're going to talk about some of the goods, bads, and kind of those myths around crowd calendars, and help you navigate how best to anticipate the crowds for your next Disneyland Resort vacation. Some of the factors that go into a crowd calendar, let's start with that. School breaks, very important. One thing that we do at Getaway Today on our crowd calendar is we work with a lot of the schools, and we have detailed outlines of when those schools will be off break, and use that in calculating our crowds. Special events, things like Disneyland After Dark, Lunar New Year, Food and Wine Festival, Disney Grad Nights, Halloween time, and the holidays, those all go into developing our crowd calendar. A lot of times Disney looks for slower dates and comes up with celebrations and events to make those times not as slow as in the past. So let's say 5 or 6 years ago, you used to always go in a certain time frame. Now there's a festival or an event. We'll help you to know if that's still the best time to travel. Conventions, this could be cheer, sports conventions, also popular citywide conventions. These go into our crowd calendar, as they should. It doesn't always mean the park will be as busy, but it sure does mean the hotels will be full. Also, of course, new attractions and lands opening, such as this year, the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That may or may not affect crowds. This year it's actually been kind of different in the fact that it didn't maybe anticipate crowds correctly, a lot of crowd calendars, because it hasn't been as busy as anticipated. Other things such as Pixar Pier opening the new Jesse's Critter Carousel, and Inside Out, Emotional Whirlwind, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Breakout, when these popular things are a little bit maybe more off the beaten path attractions, when those open, those can affect crowds as well. So as you can see, there are a lot of factors that do go into crowd calendars. So when you're reading the below article, we've actually linked you to our crowd calendar. Note that there has been a lot of thought, research, time, effort put into that to make sure that your family does have an accurate expectation of when you'll travel and what the crowds will be. So should you use a Disney crowd calendar? Yes, we think you should, especially because it's nice to anticipate and know before you go so that you can plan accordingly. Keep in mind that they are predictions and so they aren't always 100% accurate, and they're based on historical data. And so sometimes things can be more popular or less popular than anticipated. And typically you will probably have it be more crowded than you anticipate than it being less. But this year has been a fun surprise in that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, it did make it slower, the park, in the summer than it typically has been. So you can have some surprises like that. Also, as events, attractions, different entertainment is announced, check back to crowd calendars because they can change. For instance, we just got the opening date for Rise of the Resistance. It's January 17th of 2020. So before we might have said January 17th is probably a very low crowd calendar time frame, but with a popular new attraction like that is so anticipated, we of course will be making a change there. So you also need to look back frequently for crowd calendars to keep them the most accurate. So some of our time-saving tips for if you do get to the resort and you'd like it to be a little less crowded, first, use the Fast Pass. It's free, it's included in all of your Getaway Today tickets. It allows you to skip the line and in essence reserve your place in line so you can go have fun, do other activities, go back at your appointed time, go in a shorter line, and have a great experience. At Getaway Today, we also sell the popular Max Pass. This is added onto your ticket for $15 per person per day, but what this allows is it takes the Fast Pass to the next level. It allows you from your mobile device to be able to make a reservation, and with that, it just makes it easier. You don't have to actually physically get to each of the rides and have to go through that Fast Pass kiosk. You can do it from a mobile device. Saves a lot of time, makes it so families really can stay and play together instead of having to one person separate and get those Fast Passes. And it includes Photo Pass, and again, it's very convenient. Just set that alarm, and we'll link you below to our Max Pass full tutorial. Next is the Magic Morning. Our guests love this. This is included on Getaway Today tickets that are 3 days or longer. It's one admission into Disneyland Park an hour before the public. It's select days, and we can always help you to know which dates those are. Those do change sometimes, but it's the best. It gives you a head start to your day, and it allows you to really have again, that jumpstart the best day at the Disneyland Resort. The extra magic hour, it's similar to the Magic Morning, but this is an actual perk if you're staying at the hotels of the Disneyland Resort. What we love about this is it's the only way to get an hour early into Disney California Adventure Park. And if you're getting this extra magic hour, it means you stayed at the hotels of the Disneyland Resort and you get in an hour early every single day of your stay. It's awesome. Plus, we should just say the hotels at the Disneyland Resort have so many magical reasons to stay there. They're some of our absolute favorite properties. And here on our YouTube channel, we do have room tours and some of the best tips of staying at those resorts. I'd encourage you to watch those. A newer feature and huge time-saving tip is the new mobile ordering. You can also do this through the Disneyland app at over 20 different food service and quick queue restaurants. You can get a Dole Whip through this mobile ordering. You can go into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and do mobile ordering. It's a huge time saver and it's something that we highly recommend. Also, probably our best tip is no matter when you're looking at traveling, make sure to go to the Disneyland Resort as long as possible. For that reason, like our 5th day free, we've done an extra day free all year long into 2020 that you're able to stay and play for the very least amount of money. That makes your per day price as low as $65 per day, whereas a 1-day ticket can be well over $150. So it's usually the best way to save, and if you have 5 days of fun, you're gonna make sure and see everything. It won't matter if there are a lot of people there or if there are hardly any people at the resort. Despite that, you'll have a fantastic experience. So our extra day free ticket is our top recommendation to have the best experience whenever you decide to travel to the Disneyland Resort. To wrap up, the most popular question we get here at Getaway today is, when should I visit the Disneyland Resort? And we know it's an important decision in your travel. One thing that we always like to mention is that we do offer a layaway plan. So even if you're thinking of going, the next year in a certain season, you can always lock in your savings for only $175 down and make payments towards that vacation. Also, you're never penalized for booking early with Getaway today. So if a lower special comes out, no worries, we'll take care of you and help you. And our tickets are the only refundable Disneyland Resort tickets. So we do have a lot of flexibility in our packages. So if you book a date and the crowd calendars change, we'll work with you. We'll make sure that you get your vacation the dates that you'd like it to be. And also, when you're thinking when to go, there are perks of every season. During the summertime, of course, you have longer park hours, more entertainment, typically a ride opening, so that's a lot of fun. If you're going more off-season, which is typically like January, February, September, May, and even 1st of November, you may have shorter park hours, but it typically isn't quite as busy. Other trends to watch for whenever you're traveling: always get to the Disneyland Resort early. You'll have a better experience, and it really doesn't get too crowded until the early afternoon at the Disneyland Resort. And with that in mind, the later you stay, same thing, it kind of returns to not being quite as busy. So our team will help you again save the most money, as well as have all those time-saving tips to have the very best vacation. So here's our crowd calendars rebuild. We've linked you below to our crowd calendar. Again, know that we update it frequently based on the information we told you. And we do feel like we can help you choose those dates to have the very best Disneyland Resort vacation. I'm Jen with Getaway Today. Thanks so much for joining us, and please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.